Katie, what is the lead service line inventory project?
Before December 31st, you may receive a letter in the mail from the city of Ripon stating you have either a lead service line, a galvanized service line, or a unknown water service line. It is our goal to identify all of these service lines.
And Dave, why is it important for residents to know if their water line contains lead?
If you do discover that you have a lead water service, it can be harmful to everybody, but particularly young children and pregnant women. You should take some extra precautions.
So Katie, what's the easiest way for residents to help?
You can call to report your material. It's 920-748-4900. You may also go to the service line reporting page, take a photo or multiple photos, and upload. That's at cityofripon.com/service line reporting. You can also simply schedule an appointment at cityofripon.com/water utility, and an operator will come and identify the service material for you.
So you just learned about it. Now go check it out and report it. I'm here today to help identify the 4 different service types that we find commonly in town. We've got the newest type. We got plastic. Plastic can come in blue and black. We have a lot of houses in town that have copper. Copper looks like penny, but a lot of times in the basement, it's going to look a little more dirty. One of the best ways to identify copper, if it looks dirty, is sometimes it might have a blue tint to it, or a patina, or a green patina. You can also scratch it and get that nice brownish copper shine to it. The 2 that we're most concerned about, if you don't have a copper or plastic line, are galvanized and lead. They look very similar. You have 2 galvanized lines here and a lead line. Best way to identify galvanized is with a magnet. A magnet sticks nice and strong to galvanized iron, but nothing to lead. The other ways to identify galvanized is usually threaded. The thread there. And lead is always going to have like a lead ball connected. Lead is usually thicker, and it also shines up when you scratch it. You can scratch it with a key, a knife, or a coin, but it's nice and shiny. Whereas if you can scratch this galvanized, it will continue to stay kind of a dull gray. And that's it. If you have any questions, please give us a call, or you can email us and set up an appointment if you need help identifying your water service material. Thank you.
Hey, Dave.
Hey.
Hi, I got a letter in the mail, and I'm supposed to check out my water service. It says that I have an unknown water service line.
Yep. So it's going to be downstairs.
Okay.
By your water meter.
Okay.
Most likely. So why don't we head downstairs?
Do you know where it is? Can you show me?
I'm sure we can find it.
Let's go downstairs.
A lot of times it's on the wall closest to the road, but sometimes it's in the middle of the house.
It's probably in this area. And
Usually exactly where the water
here's
meter
my
is.
water softener. Is it right here?
Yep. Look at that.
Oh, okay. There's
Right
my
here's
water
the water
meter.
meter. Right here is your service material that we're looking for. And it looks like it's galvanized, but got a magnet. See? And there it sticks. So you have a galvanized line.
A galvanized line.
Yep.
Okay, so what do I do from here?
If we know that previously it was fed by lead, then we have to have a further discussion.
Okay.
But for our records, we'll be able to make it so it's not an unknown in our records, and that's all we're looking for. As far as a homeowner, if you have galvanized, we do encourage you to replace it within a good given amount of time. If it's copper, it's a safer material. So.
Okay. Well, very good. So you'll take care of it from here.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Gadsky,
Here.
Iverson,
Here.
Reamer,
Here.
Schatzinger,
Here.
Sorensen, absent, Split,
Here.
and Brandt.
Here.
All right, we have four.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. I'm Reverend Karen Gigax Rodriguez. I'm from the Federated Church in Green Lake, but live here in Ripon. And I, for one, am grateful to see the fire department's barbecue signs out. That's always my first sign of spring. So. Would you join with me in a moment of prayer? Lord, we are grateful for the gift of this day, and we are grateful for the people who have gathered here this evening and the city that we serve and love. We ask that you would come near and affirm and give your life to the meeting agenda items this evening and the conversations and the discussions and any business that comes before this group this evening. And we are grateful in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I'll make a
Motion to approve tonight's agenda, Mayor.
I'll second.
A motion by Doug, second by Mark. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving the agenda say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved. Has anyone signed up for public comment? All right. Moving on then to accepting informal reports from standing committee and staff. Is there a motion to approve that list as published?
I'll make a motion to approve as published.
I'll second.
Motion by Jonathan, second by Steve. Any discussion?
Just
On
a
the reports.
question,
Go
very
ahead.
personal question. Was I supposed to submit minutes for the ad hoc committee that we had? Okay.
Oh, no,
you're
fine.
Doug, then John.
Oh, I have a couple questions on the financial, on the check registry. I see that there was something from Target Solutions Learning for $2,400 and change, and something from Time Clock Plus. Can you elaborate what those might be?
Let me just pull up the one.
It's not midway through, correct? On January 26th.
Yep, those are the ones I'm thinking of. I don't know if they're on here anymore.
So the Target Solutions Plus is what's called Frontline. That is a software used by the police department for inquiries regarding like records, online submissions for like people that are leaving and want to have their home watched, or parking inquiries, things like that.
Okay?
And then Time Clock Plus, I believe that is the scheduling software for the police department.
Okay, that kind of makes sense. All right. Thank you. I have nothing further.
John?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on the public library report. I was impressed with the number of visits and everything, and the ease of looking at it and the format that they used. I think it was really well done.
I'll pass that on to our director. Thank you, John.
Okay, you're welcome.
So in talking with Nancy, the library director, we will have the library board report. It might be a month or so behind, but we will incorporate that into the report,
Okay.
moving standing reports, because I believe she does that for the library board. And we just talked, and she's like, I'm like, hey, if you want to get this in front of the council, submit it. We're good.
Yeah.
So she'll do that moving forward.
Okay, good. It's great. Thanks.
Anyone else? No other comments? All those in favor of accepting informal reports from standing committees and staff, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those are approved. Moving on to the consent calendar. This is two sets of minutes, one from January 13 and one from January 26, both from the common council meetings. Is there a motion to approve consent calendar as published?
I'll make the motion to approve the consent calendar as published.
I'll second.
Motion by Doug, second by Steve. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving the consent calendar, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved. Moving into our first agenda item, pay application number 5 for the Ripon Public Library renovations. This is in the amount of $127,775 to RJM Construction and is recommended for approval.
I'll make a motion to approve the current pay application of $127,775.
I'll second it.
Motion by Doug, second by Jolene. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving pay application number 5 for Ripon Public Library renovations in the amount of $127,775, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved. Our next item is pay application number 5 for, pay application number 4 for Selfridge Park project. This is in the amount of $50,658.75 and is recommended for approval.
I'll make a motion to accept pay application number 4 in the amount of $50,658.75.
I'll second.
Motion by Doug, I got a second by Mark. Any discussion on pay application number 4?
This is just a question I just thought of on the last pay application, but when we send these checks out, do we receive like lien waivers with these? I mean, we're sending big checks, so do we have proof that they're sending it to the electrical contractor and the
Generally,
drywall?
that comes more toward the end of the project.
Okay.
But certainly we have open communication with the contractor. And like we sometimes hear from subcontractors if
Yeah.
there's delays in payment or anything, through our engineer or just, through me. But generally speaking, in these two projects, we haven't had many issues. There's been some delays in payment from the library renovation project just because the state grant we're using to fund it is a little delayed, so it's kind of a lag. But generally speaking, MSA or PRA in these cases will handle those things throughout the project. And generally toward the end of the project, I believe, is when those get cleared up.
Okay, thank you.
Jolene?
Being that this project is in my district, I'm super excited about it. The neighborhood is looking forward to utilizing this park. Do we foresee there'll be a ribbon cutting, and do we have an estimated date as to when it will be officially opened?
We'll do something when it's done. That's the best I can give you, Jolene. We'll do something when it's done. We don't know right now. There's a good number of things that were done, and if I can't recall how much is left of the project, but I mean we're well into it. And the biggest thing is going to be pavement. That's a big part of the next phase, and then just general restoration and everything. So we'll do something, but it could be with putting in the dock and some of those things, it could be into the summer. So we just want to make sure it's complete. So it may be, summer, late summer, but we'll see.
So if people want to rent out the, over the pavilion, that is to be, don't plan a spring event there.
Well, no, it won't be open generally, and there's no picnic tables.
Right. I just didn't have a sense as to when.
Yeah, I would, we'll let people know when it's open, and we'll, we obviously have more pay applications coming.
Right.
There's not much work going on right now, so we'll keep you up to speed on that and talk about that when it's more finalized as a project. So, yeah, it's like 70% of the way done, but we're only 50% of the way done. You know what I mean? It's kind of, it's like, it's.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
So.
Any further discussion on this item? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving pay application number 4 for the Selfridge Park project in the amount of $50,658.75, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved. All right, our next item is a professional services agreement for drinking water system engineering services. This is through Donahue. And in the agreement, it has an amount not to exceed $144,765. And we also have Autumn Fisher from Donahue here via Zoom.
Yes, Autumn is here. I can just start quick. So this, after last month's meeting, the council had selected Donahue to move forward with engineering services for pilot well and the development of well number 10. That, we had the whole RFP. Administration worked with Autumn and Donahue, their team there, to bring forward this services agreement. So this is the formal contract to begin the actual work to get us to a bid project. So just to be clear, you can kind of see the breakdown of costs from preliminary engineering, pilot well, final design of a municipal production well, bidding and procurement, and then funding and PSC approval for a total of not to exceed $144,765. We did previously discuss about kind of breaking this out, but due to some of the complexities of the project and some of the planning and maybe other project impacts regarding roadways or other utilities, in talking to Donahue, it was preferred that we move forward with the full phase of the project, meaning pilot well, then into the design of the actual well. You can see the scope of services, which is based on what the RFP was, and then the breakdown of costs. There will be like a follow-up eventually for like construction administration when there is a project. So, this isn't necessarily all in to get the project all the way done, but it is to the point of saying, we have, gotten funding in place, we have done the pilot well, and designed it and have a bid, right? And then, we make a decision, right? And with that decision comes potential other decisions, right? So, so this is just the next step in the project.
And just,
Autumn? Go ahead.
just for clarification, this is for the design only, not for cost of actually drilling the pilot.
No.
Autumn, would you like to add anything, or?
No, I think Adam did a great job summarizing. Essentially, the agreement just reflects the proposal that was submitted by Donahue for the scope of services that was originally outlined. And just because of some of the nuances of the development in that area, we gave ourselves some flexibility for potential modifications to design and the path forward and how we actually execute everything. So we tried to make it as flexible as possible, knowing that you've got a lot of moving pieces right now in that particular area of town.
Julian?
Is she able to speak a little bit more specifically? I know last time they spoke about how they help cities find funding. Is that then something where a meeting will be set up with you, Adam? Do we sort of wait to hear, knowing that you're working on it behind the scenes? Can you just maybe explain briefly that process now that we're officially working with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we like to do is first we'll start with the pilot well, and the information from the pilot well will help to inform the overall process and exactly what the scope of work will include, which will help us to define, the approximate amount of funding that is going to be required. So in parallel with that, we'll begin to kind of weed out what the funding alternatives are, and we generally like to do that in a workshop style session where we can brainstorm potential funding options, pros and cons of those different options. Grants are obviously the best, no interest, no payback, and to layer in other supplemental sources of funding. So it will be a collaborative process. I don't know exactly who Adam may want involved in that, depending on exactly how we structure it and how many meetings and things like that. But we will kick that off pretty early in the process and use all of that data and that information that we're collecting from the pilot to inform the overall funding process and strategies.
Generally speaking, yeah, we work with the consultant to identify, the list of options for funding, and then looking at, what is the most advantageous, what are, maybe low-hanging fruit, what is our timeline to get the project done. All of these things have application windows, right? And so we work through that and kind of schedule it all out. And some of them require correspondence with the federal government, right? So we work through all of that. We're familiar with programs just within the administration. They're familiar with programs within their experience. So, it's not like a ton of options necessarily, but the ones that are available to us, we'll explore and discuss every single one. And then look at what's realistic and what keeps us in line with timelines. And certainly sometimes funding can delay a project, right, if we are waiting for something. So we'll work that all out with Donahue through the schedule and just approach it like we have other ones. If we are awarded something or we have something we will bring it to the council, and I'll keep you up to date along the way. Like in my staff report, there's talk about closing on the safe drinking water loan program for Hamburg Henny, right? That's similar. We've been working behind the scenes of getting that all ready with finance and other staff. So we'll keep you up to date on where that's all headed in kind of the follow-up of the design of the well.
Thanks.
Doug?
Just a real quick reminder for people that are here in the audience or listening. Adam, what is the age of our newest well?
The newest well, I'd have to, don't quote me on it, but the one that this is set to replace, I think that's kind of the concern here, is not the newest well. Newest well is well number 9, which is out on the west end of town. I believe, don't quote me, but I believe it was done in the late 90s or so, and then there was improvements made at around the time the city bought the water utility for removing some VOCs or some contamination, right?
Right.
Well 5, the well that is of most concern, was brought online in 1931. So it's approaching 100 years, and Roger did a little story in the paper, kind of just the background about that. But we've been talking about significant deficiencies within well number 5 for about the last 9-10 years because of DNR code compliance, sanitary surveys, which are every 3 years, and just water quality issues and overall reliability of that infrastructure piece has led us to a point where the DNR, through their consistent follow-up, has said it's time, right? They haven't brought us to the point of enforcement actions or forcing us to drill a new well, but they continually note significant deficiencies within a number of elements in well number 5, and well number 5 is our workhorse well, meaning it is the largest producer, but it is, as it was described a few years ago after doing our water master plan, it is very tired, and so this is a response to a lot of planning and a lot of, just general guidance from the DNR over the past, I would say, 9 years or so.
Thank you. And why spending $2 to $4 million on this municipal well and getting it online kind of boggles our mind. I know we have the ability to do this work, and it is necessary, and we're not being forced. We're willingly putting this well online because we know we have to. So I want to thank you all for stepping up and coming to the city and saying that you could do this project for us. So thank you. Steve.
Absolutely, we're looking forward to it.
Have we abandoned any wells?
The city of Ripon has never abandoned any well. There is a history of the water utility pre-ownership of the city. So I believe we have well 5, 6, 8, and 9. There's no 7.
Right.
7 was abandoned by Alliant Energy at some point, I believe, in the 80s.
Okay.
And there were water quality issues, and it never really got up and running. So we've inherited a lot of pieces from Wisconsin Power Light Alliant Energy, right? We have never drilled a well. We have only maintained the system as it was bought by the city 15, 20 years ago or so. And well 7 was taken offline, and a number of the wells that we have in line, one of the deficiencies we have is the depth of the well. So well 7, when it was taken off, we looked at some of that how they drilled that well, and they just didn't, feels like they didn't go deep enough, right, to get to the right aquifer. So the idea of a pilot well is from that experience and knowing what happened with 7, that is why we have chosen some of that history, has been why we have gone down this path of pilot well and selected the location we have.
Thank you.
You bet.
I move that we approve the professional services agreement for drinking water system engineering services with Donahue for the cost of no more than $144,765.
I'll second.
A motion by Mark, second by John. Any discussion on the motion? Lud, would you like a roll call on this one?
Yes, please.
Okay. So we'll take a roll call vote on the motion to accept the professional services agreement for drinking water system engineering services from Donahue in the amount not to exceed $144,765. Diane?
Dinkert,
Yes.
Gallops, Harry's absent, Yatsky,
Yes.
Iverson?
Yes.
Reamer?
Yes.
Schatzinger?
Yes.
Is absent. Split?
Yes.
We have 6 carried.
Thank you. And thank you, Autumn.
Thank you, Autumn.
Everyone.
All right, moving on to our next item. We can start the discussion for the next two items together, but we'll take separate votes. This would be for the ordinances to amend section 10.20.010, definitions of solid waste chapter in the municipal code, as well as ordinance to amend chapter 10.22, recycling in the municipal code. Adam or Alan, would you like to start the discussion on this one?
I can just start, Alan can add to whatever I miss, but generally speaking, there are two ordinances in front of you. One of them amends definitions, so if you look at the structure of our code of ordinances, the solid waste ordinance has solid waste definitions and regulations, then recycling, and the recycling definitions are built into the solid waste definitions as referenced, right? So we have to amend some definitions, and then we have to amend the code on recycling, and Alan can better explain to you why the DNR is requiring that, and I gave a little note in a staff report about a recycling grant, but certainly he dealt mostly with this, with the DNR.
Very good. The DNR has instructed all of its responsible units that participate in this grant program that there are some ordinance requirements that need to be incorporated to continue to be eligible for the grant program. They predominantly deal with how the different sectors, meaning the residential sector, the multifamily sector, and the commercial and industrial sector handle their recycling waste. Even though we are not obligated to provide for recycling for them or to enforce it, they want our ordinances to be prepared for, in the event that in the future that we are required to do that we have all of these items ready to go. That's the gist of it. So an example would be like 1022.032, responsibilities of owners or designated agents of multiple family dwellings. That's an example of what's being required, and this is verbatim from the DNR. Same thing with 1022.034. And I think there was one more prior to that. It got more into the separation of recyclable materials under 1022.014. They wanted to provide for the long list of items that are not permitted to be included in your refuse, but are supposed to be separated. And then we get into the separation requirements that are exempted. That's pretty much it. They wrote it for us. They just told us that we have to adopt it.
So quick question. One second.
Go ahead.
On the separated materials, aluminum containers, does that include cans?
Yes.
Interesting. All right.
Are we going to send out a list as part of the city of what, since we're changing this or whatever it is, or clarifying it, that our city residents can understand?
Nothing is changing as far as what we are recycling today.
Okay, well,
Yeah, and we are obligated to maintain a list of things that we don't collect but are not permitted to be included in your refuse. So we maintain a list of of outlets that residents where they can dispose of those items. And we are actually in the process of I guess, doing a research on that to see if anything has changed in recent history.
thank you.
Yeah, on that note, I'm kind of glad you brought that up because there are certainly things that we should not be putting into our trash cans, right, into
Correct.
the garbage stream. And then there's certainly things that we should be putting into the recycling stream, but there's a lot of kind of gray area things. I know they call out some of the major appliances in here, but, you know, some of your smaller appliances may not necessarily be very good to go and put right into the recycling either. So I'm glad to hear that Public Works is working on getting that resource together, because it has been a challenge in the past couple of years for some of the things to find a place for disposal.
It's something that is just requires constant attention. It changes as we go forward in time.
So there's no, I'm looking at management of yard waste. It says leaves are picked up curbside in October. Sometimes it's been in November. This is, I'm looking at 1022.050. So that's just what we've had in the past, and then it's up to us to, I mean, it's just strange to me that it doesn't say or as needed. But is that something for us to review later? That's not necessarily from them. They're not making us, or is that their?
The management of the yard waste, how we handle leaves, we're not required to do anything by the DNR with leaves other than they can't be in your garbage. So this community determined at some point in time in the past to include management of leaves in here. And while it started out as curbside in October, obviously it has progressed into November and perhaps even longer, depending on how weather may permit. So,
But do you feel like you're covered? We don't need to change that here, do
no,
we?
I don't believe we need to maintain it, because that's really more, in my mind, that's more of a customer service. We know that this community is going to offer it, and we will do it as weather and time permits, so.
Can I make a recommendation that maybe we just send this back to the Public Works Committee for review of any language like that, and then we can make an adjustment and recommend it to the council for clarification?
I don't know if it's necessary. I believe that's more of a policy issue from a standpoint of what do we aspire to provide for our citizens.
No, I think what Jolene is getting at is we're calling out a very specific, if someone wanted to get very nitpicky, they could say, well, you picked up leaves in November and your ordinance doesn't allow for that, and we're going to raise a stink. And I just think Jolene maybe was recognizing that and seeing that as a potential, not a problem per se, but just something that could be brought up.
You can just amend the language tonight to give the flexibility.
Yeah, fall of the year. Fall of each year.
I like that. In the
Fall of each year is when we will pick up leaves. And again, the ordinance can be amended if we get out of the business of picking up leaves. But we've done a good job of maintaining that, and Public Works has done a good job of updating their leaf collection machinery. So I think we can stay in the business for now.
But just to play devil's advocate for you, it says we'll pick up leaves in October. It doesn't say we won't pick them up in November. It just says we will do it in October.
Do it at least once in October.
You're right. You're right.
Generally, we
I
start
think
in October.
Fall of each year, in the fall of each year. And if you decide to get out of the business, you got to amend the ordinance. It's in our current ordinance.
I would make the motion that we make the wording to 10.22.050 that leaves are picked up curbside in the fall of each year. And if
You want to make that motion with the overall motion?
with the motion to then approve this amended ordinance.
Second.
Okay. Did you get that, Diane?
Got the amendment and got the motion. John, what's the second?
Yes.
So just to be absolutely clear, the only things the DNR or the state requirements we're changing are some of these other sections like 10.22.032, 10.22034 is not exhaustive maybe. The list in 10.22014, those were directed to us for adoptions that were eligible for the grant.
Correct, is what, and then the separation requirements exempted. under 10.22.016.
Okay, thank you.
We didn't change anything else in the ordinance outside of
Right.
what was required by the DNR, so we
Yep.
didn't change the October, right? So,
Okay, so your motion was for the recycling ordinance for chapter 10.22.
Correct.
Okay. So that's the second item we're taking first. That's all right.
Sorry.
That's all right. As long as we're on the same page.
Do that one separately.
All right. So is there any further discussion on the motion to amend, or pass the ordinance to amend chapter 10.22 recycling the municipal code with the change to 10.22.050, that we pick up leaves curbside in the fall of each year?
Do we then now have responsibility to let the individuals of designated agents of non-residential facilities, or the multifamily dwellings, to let them know of this new?
nothing really
It's
changes.
not new, it's just the DNR is requiring us to include these in our ordinances so that if there is a need to start enforcing it, that kind of thing, that we're ready to do that. They're already, everyone is required to recycle. Everyone is required to separate. It's just that the municipalities are only required to provide for recycling for the for the residential sector, which is residences up to 4 dwelling units. So if you get into what these other ones talk about, is that if they're not recycling, this gives the authority to, I guess, require them to start recycling, even though we're not going to provide for it, they will have to find their outlet for it. Which I'm not aware of any that aren't already recycling. It's just that many communities have not adopted an ordinance, including us, that would give us the teeth to require them to do so.
Any further discussion on this motion? So we will take a roll call vote on the motion to approve the ordinance to amend Chapter 10.22, recycling the municipal code, with the change in 10.22050 that leaves are picked up curbside in the fall of each year. Diane?
Dinkert,
Yes.
Hetzke,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Remark,
Yes.
Stetzinger,
Yes.
Split,
Yes.
carried 6.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we need to double back to the ordinance to amend section 10.20.010, definitions of solid waste in chapter in Ripon Municipal Code.
I will make the motion that we adopt the ordinance to amend section 10.20.010, definitions of the solid waste chapter of the municipal code.
I'll second that.
A motion by Mark, second by Doug. Any discussion on this motion?
I will just make a note that it's nice to break out definitions from some of the code, because then you can change definitions without changing too much of the code, or you can change your code without having to go and review a whole bunch of definitions. So that should make, as we go through more ordinance changes in the future, that should start to make it easier to keep up to date.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll have a roll call vote on the ordinance to amend section 10.20.010, definitions of the solid waste chapter in the Ripon Municipal Code. Diane?
Dinkert,
Yes.
Hetzke,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Remark,
Yes.
Stetzinger,
Yes.
Split,
Yes.
carried 6.
All right. Moving on to project updates and staff reports. Anything from Public Works?
I have nothing to add beyond the report that I submitted.
Thank you. Diane, anything from you?
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Adam?
Sean, anything?
Oh, Sean. He's on the wrong side of the room.
I just note, Chief Wallner was, he's at the Chiefs Conference this week, so I wasn't able to do the presentation that was requested. So we'll have that coming up at the next meeting in February on the security cameras, as Alderperson Denk requested. Beyond that, you have my report. I'll just note that, just from a perspective of Sanmar, all residential lots in Sanmar are now sold. So Rick Reed no longer owns any. So we anticipate that Sanmar will be, in the next 18 months, built out from the perspective of the SCS project and single family. And you can see the totals for 2025 of new home construction starts, 27 single family homes and 5 duplexes, which is 37 total units, which is a significant increase for the city of Ripon, and a likely all-time high for decades. So, road projects you'll see coming your way. We will be bidding out projects. You can see kind of the schedule there. So, March or so, we'll have the vehicle registration fee projects, the more mill and overlays, and then toward the end of March, maybe into April, we will have the Houston Street project. We're also working on closing out the Safe Drinking Water loan program funding, so I believe that will come to the council as well shortly. And then we will begin working on a grant application for a local small structures improvement program. So the state did come out with a small bridge or culvert program, and one of our bridges, Pacific Street, qualifies for the application, so we will submit an application in the coming months for that project. Happy to answer any other questions in my report or otherwise.
Mark?
I just had, on the note of seeing 27 single-family homes and 5 duplex units being built last year, approximately how many single-family or maybe not multifamily housing units do we have in the city right now? So kind of that households number.
How many?
Like not apartment buildings, not multifamily. Basically, when we're counting these numbers, what is the percentage that we were able to complete last year? Is that
I don't know if I'm following, like.
How many single-family units are there in the city?
In the city, total, we'd have to look at utility records and overall, you know, off the top of my head, I wouldn't be able to pull a number other than Sean might have.
I guess 81%.
Yeah, okay. That's
Oh,
what I was, yeah, that's what I was thinking, is we saw a 1% growth of the households, which I just wanted to contrast to, I think the past 5 years at one point we saw was maybe a 0.2% building rate within the city. So long-winded way of saying, I think we're doing a great job. I'd like to see that continue into 26, where we can continue to build housing in our city and keep the growth up, although it may not be at that pace, but hopefully it can be better than that pace.
Steve?
You have 2 questions for Adam. Say, have we ever been reimbursed for the building downtown?
Great question, Steve. I have followed up with the county on 4 occasions and have yet to receive a response.
Okay.
They were, now in defense of everything, we just experienced the busiest time of the year for the county regarding tax collection season and reconciliation of things. So, so we plan to continue to follow up. Sean and I had a conversation today about that, and we will follow up again. But the property has been acquired by a private party through their process.
Okay. And my second question was, is there anything happening with the property down by the hospital? That subdivision that was supposed to be going in and.
Yeah. So the utilities are in, and so that's called the East Town Development. So the utilities are in. The pavement binder coat was put in, and they have they have a building permit for 1 duplex at this point, or 1 unit. So there'll be 2 units out there that are currently under construction, and they'll go from there. So they're on pace for what they kind of projected. but have gotten the utilities put in place and are starting to build units.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Adam? Jolene?
Well, actually, maybe this is under your communications. Are you going to remind people about tomorrow's program, the women voters, about the county jail update?
You just did.
Sorry, maybe you're going to say that.
Go ahead.
So let's remind people, it's tomorrow at 6 PM, correct?
6 to 8, I think.
What is it?
6 to 8.
6 to 8.
I think so. Here. Give
council
an update
chambers?
on the county jail project. Is this, I don't know if officially if that's what it's called, but, okay.
Yeah, I forgot. Ellen asked me to say it last month, so.
I think it's important because it'll impact our taxpayers here throughout Ripon.
Anyone else? All right. I have no communications or appointments tonight. Any future agenda items or comments from council? John?
I had the pleasure of using Ripon's new Code Connect last week. But I was shocked at what is allowed. I got the response. The next day, everything was great. It was easy to fill out, to do it. But I was shocked what is allowed in a person's backyard. And I would like staff to look at the ordinance and, because it does, it allows campers and trailers and, as far as I know, boats. And to me, just because it's somebody's backyard, it's also somebody's side yard and the other person's backyard. So I think we should look into what's allowable in a person's backyard.
We'll take a look, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
We can follow up, but yeah, it is a little, sometimes difficult to enforce things in the backyard because of just even sight, right? Like, or fences, and so there's a lot of factors that go into that.
Yeah.
But no, I appreciate the feedback.
And then in my response from the police department, they're not allowed to actually walk onto the property to see what's in the backyard, which I understand, it's private property, but there has to be ways to get an officer back there to look somehow. I don't know.
It's a warrant.
You would know, Lud.
It's a warrant. You have to get a warrant to go in if you've got a
Know the neighbor?
probable cause.
Yeah,
Take a picture.
yeah.
A lot of times we get pictures from
From a pub, yeah.
Yeah.
Drone pictures.
drones too.
Okay,
But
good, thank you.
Anyone else? Would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Motion by Doug, second by Jolene. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 7:45. Thank you.
Wow, it's
thanks, everybody.